Look around Lancaster, and you'll see that just about every intersection has some type of pedestrian crosswalk. Some have lines, some have signs to remind drivers of their responsibility, some are controlled by pedestrian control signals at traffic lights, and there are some that remind drivers that some routes are heavily traveled as school crossing routes, especially now that school's back in session, and at certain times of the day, pedestrian traffic is going to be heavier than other times. The Pennsylvania Vehicle Code, Title 75, Chapter 31, Subsection 13 deals with pedestrian control signals. And while the verbiage may be a little bit dry, it is worth noting that whenever special pedestrian control signals exhibiting words or symbols are in place, the signal shall indicate as follows. Pedestrians facing a walk signal should proceed across the roadway in the direction of the signal and shall be given the right of way by the drivers of all vehicles. Pedestrians facing a flashing walk signal are cautioned that there is a possible hazard from turning vehicles, but pedestrians may proceed across the roadway in the direction of the signal and shall be given the right of way by the driver of all vehicles. Pedestrians facing a don't walk signal should not cross the roadway in the direction of the signal, but any pedestrian who has partially completed his crossing on the walk signal should proceed to a sidewalk or safety zone while the don't walk signal is showing. If a pedestrian starts to see a flashing don't walk signal and they're already in the crosswalk, they should proceed to the nearest safety zone or sidewalk, and the drivers of all vehicles shall yield the right of way to those pedestrians. The Vehicle Code also deals with intersections that do not have pedestrian control signals but are controlled by markings on the roadway, or intersections that don't have markings. When traffic control signals are not in place or in operation, the driver of a vehicle shall yield the right of way to a pedestrian crossing the roadway within any marked crosswalk or within any unmarked crosswalk at an intersection. No pedestrian shall suddenly leave a curb or other place of safety and walk or run into the path of a vehicle which is so close as to constitute a hazard. If you look at the intersection here at Walnut and Water, there's only crosswalks for traffic or pedestrians going east or west on Walnut Street and not north or south on Water Street. Here we see a student outside of Reynolds Middle School at a proper crosswalk waiting for a driver to yield the right of way. As you can see, several drivers did not yield the right of way until the driver of this truck did stop, and several students were able to cross safely. Here at South Duke and Green Street, this is a very heavily traveled intersection by both pedestrians and students. You have to use the crosswalk properly, and you have to stay within the lines. Here we see students entering the crosswalk properly. The driver for northbound traffic stopped correctly. The driver for southbound did not stop. Here we see students using the crosswalk properly and drivers in both north and southbound traffic doing the right thing and yielding the right of way. If you want to know more about the rights and duties of both drivers and pedestrians, you can read about it online at the Pennsylvania Consolidated Statutes. The website is listed below. Look under Title 75 in the Vehicle Code, Chapters 31 and Chapters 35. Thank you.